Hello. Next, I'm going to review Necronomicon, the Book of Dead, H.P. Lovecraft. It starts out with H.P. Lovecraft going to a convent, or not convent, but a place of, because it's held by priests and stuff. And there's a guy with a nose piercing, and he wanted to go for a book, but he wanted to see the Necronomicon, the Book of Dead. And this way, the Book of Dead is like real bigger than the one in the Evil Dead movies. So he stole the keys from the priest. And he went in the room, so he started writing stories. The first story you see is about a guy who got a mansion from his relative who passed away, who seemingly committed suicide by jumping off the balcony into the river. Turns out his ancestor, his wife, and young kid died in a boating accident, so he threw the Bible in and said blasphemy. He didn't want the God in the house who took his kids away. Then later on, there's like a sea demon, gave him the Book of Dead. He brought his wife and kid back, but then their face melted, and then they had like tentacles coming out of their mouth. So then you see him jump, and behind this curtain, you can see the shadow of his wife and kid behind there. So he jumped to his death. Then his wife died because he got into a car wreck and she drowned in the water, just like his ancestor's wife did. So he brought her back. Then then he ended up killing her because he knew she wasn't her wife. Then it turns out his wife turned into a tentacle. There's like a giant monster underneath the house. He dropped a chandelier on top of the monster, probably killing it. Then he heard whales crying out, and he looked out in the sea. And that was the end of the first story. That it showed Lovecraft in the vault, and you see like some of the monks like walking around. They hear noises. It looked like where the book was. There's like things opening up in the background behind where the book was. Then he did a second story about this woman running away from abusive stepfather, moving to play. First, a poor went to his house, and because there's some brutal murders, and it's connected to this house, and it's very cold in there. Turns out that the doctor who was living in the house saved this girl from an abusive stepfather. He's trying to sleep with her, and he beats the crap out of him. Then he ends up killing him, that stepfather, and they turns out he has an eternal life because he some sort of bug from the Book of Dead. So he has to live on to feel things. He needs to live on spinal fluid. So then they had an affair, and the woman in the house didn't like it. Said, "Would you kill for him?" She left. Found out she was pregnant. She came back. Found out that she had a job across the street from the deli. The deli guy was going to get killed. The guy ended up dying, melting, and so the woman was going to finish her off. She said, "I'm pregnant." She found out that it was his kid, so she kept her alive doing the same experiment. So in the end, she drugged the tea that the reporters who could. He said, "I need your spinal fluid to feel my baby." And she's been pregnant for years. And the woman that she almost killed her was very old. And then when it opened up, after that, you see Lovecraft again, and the thing opened up. And then the next one's cops looking for the guy named called the Butcher. Turns out they slept together. Now she's pregnant. She's scared of being a father. They got in a car accident. She's bleeding, and she saw her partner get dragged away into a building. Then she met like a creepy couple down there, and they pushed her. The old woman pushed her, said her baby was dead, and they lit her on fire, and she pushed her down there, and all these creatures. Then she found her partner's dead body. They already removed his brain and stuff. Then you see the creature, and they said they feed on bone marrow, and one of the creatures, they have like this circle thing on her chest, and you see her partner's brain, and it was talking for the monster. Then she wakes up and she thought it was a dream. And she was in a hospital bed, and the creepy lady was her mom, and the doctor, the creepy man was the man. And then it turned out it wasn't. It was and your partner's right next door. They tore up the blinds, saw her partner dead, and turned out it was all hallucination or something. And she was freaking out. Then she found out both her legs, one of her arms been amputated. You see the creatures like sucking on her bone marrow. Then the creepy lady said, "You're gonna kill." Upset the baby, and she said, "You said my baby was dead." Then she moved her clothes, and you found she had like a thing, like the monsters does, the little circle thing, and inside was her baby. I was like, "Oh man, that's so freaky." And then she started hysterical laughing at the end. The woman lost her mind. Then it showed Lovecraft, and you see the priest or whatever, with nose pierced. They said, "You fool." Then it opened up and he's coming. Then the monster from the first story popped up from the floor because underneath the floor was water, and that's where the creature was. So Lovecraft, while he's doing that, the monk stick his head for the bars of the room and got in there, and he fought with Lovecraft. Lovecraft got his face, ripped it off like that up. It's like a demon or something. Then he said, "Your membership has been revoked" or something. Then this creature came, ate the guy, pull his flesh out from his fake skin. Then the door magically opens, and Lovecraft left with the book. And the guy said, "You will pay for this, Lovecraft." Then he said, that's the end of the movie. So thanks for all for watching.